Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The question I have for you is simple. How stupid do you have to be to see that a policy that was implemented to try and achieve a particular goal not only fails, but actually the problem that it was meant to solve gets worse? It punishes innocent people who should not be caught up in it. It fails to help the people it was designed initially to help, and benefits only already rich companies by increasing their profits even more. And then when shown this, when presented with the evidence that this is all a complete failure and is pointless, and you admit that it has failed, you decide then to double down and increase this policy by a further 30%, knowing it will still only punish the innocent, won't help the problematic, the ones with the problems, and will only further enrich already rich corporations. How stupid do you have to be? Well, you have to have an IQ of 86, and fortunately that's exactly what Shona Robison has. Here goes. So the SNP government ignore the views of Scots to hike up alcohol prices even further, despite no evidence it reduces deaths. And indeed, it's been shown and can be argued that it is actually doing harm, because people like escapism. People like to be able to get out of their heads a little bit. And if they can't go down to the local offie or the local supermarket and buy some cheap booze to sit at home and have a little drinky, they go to the corner boys and they take even worse stuff that creates a big problem. Indeed, the biggest substance abuse problem in Europe, the biggest substance abuse death problem in Europe. And this has been caused and is increased ever since the minimum unit price was brought in. And now there's a 30% extra going on to that minimum unit price. They admit it doesn't work. They know that the evidence shows not only does it not work, it's actually making the problem worse. And you're punishing people who like to have a little drink, who are not problem drinkers. But this isn't a tax. This is just a minimum unit price. So what happens is the supermarkets have to charge this amount of money, and they do. But all that extra money that they're charging is pure profit to the supermarket. Profit which is then paid in corporation tax to the UK government. Thank you very much. Say, Westminster, we're getting lots and lots of money from Scotland. Marvellous. Brilliant. A policy, and this is the really weird thing, you have the SNP, who are supposed to be pushing for independence, are pushing a policy which makes the Westminster government richer. And they can use that extra money to help out everyone in Britain, which includes the English wealth and the Northern Irish. And the Scots are paying for it. It's a genius plan, isn't it? I've got to say, as plans go, it's genius. But then you only got to look at the woman who's announced this yesterday. Another genius, an absolute genius in the field, Shona Robison. And she thinks that this is a good idea, despite all the evidence showing how utterly awful it truly is. As I say, it results in the highest substance abuse deaths in Europe. It's almost as though there's an ulterior motive for pushing for high alcohol prices. Is it perhaps to drive out of business every pub, every off licence, to clear it, to have some kind of puritanical push so that alcohol becomes a thing of the past in Scotland? Certainly it seems to be the way, and there's no reason for it. It's certainly, the policy does not help people. It harms everybody. And for a party that says they want to raise children out of poverty, this policy will push children into poverty. Because problem drinkers do not care what the price of drink is. They will drink. And that's more money coming out of the household budget for them to drink and less for food on the table for their children. The SNP are incredibly dangerous, and they are now directly harming the welfare of children, as well as destroying the hospitality industry in Scotland. We know they hate the hospitality industry. They've done policy after policy after policy that destroys the hospitality and tourism industry in Scotland. And it's got to be deliberate, because they know in advance, before they're doing it, what they're doing. Why would they do it? Why are they going out? Unless, as I say, it's to completely eradicate alcohol in Scotland, so that the new Scots that Humza wants to bring in will feel comfortable. I can't think of another excuse. It's certainly not helping problem drinkers. It only harms normal people who finding they can't afford to have a little drinky now and again, which may harm mental health. You know, a little bit of a drink to ease off a bit of stress. Oh no, can't do that. You've got pubs going to crash and burn. That's unemployment increasing, money lost, all sorts of things there. Whole communities ripped apart, because often a pub in a village is perhaps the only place where people get out to meet and construct, and that's the hub of a community often. But these people, they sit down there in the central belt. They don't care about the little remote places. It's madness. It's absolute madness. Anyway, get into this. Hard-pressed Scots will be forced to fork out even more cash to buy booze after the Scottish Government confirmed the minimum unit pricing will be hiked up by 15p to 65. That's a 30% increase for no reason. And that means 15 pence per unit profit to Sainsbury's, Tesco's, you know, everyone like that. Because it's pure profit, it's not tax. This isn't the tax, this is a price. They're not adding it on and taking it. They're just telling supermarkets they have to add it on. It means that from the 30th of September, alcohol will go up in price once again, growing the price divide with the rest of the UK. Do you know how many vans will be flying down to Carlisle and Berwick? All of them. The increase means the lowest price for a typical pack of 4 cans of beer will rise from £4.40 to £5.72. At the same time, of course, they're taxing you more, so you've got less money to spend. And all the problem drinkers will find that their children will be going incredibly hungry as they sit there forcing the booze down because they have to. They have a problem with the drink. A bottle of wine will soar from £4.88 to £6.34, and a 700ml bottle of 40% spirits like vodka or whiskey would cost £18.20. That is £6 more than you're going to pay in England. What do you think is going to happen? There'll be vans going down, like I say. They'll be coming back up. They'll be running around estates. Yeah, I've got some cheap booze, cheap booze, cheap booze. And people buy it. Or, what is more likely to happen is the corner boys will be making a lot more money because people want to escape. They want that escapism, and people are going to buy a tab here or a gram there. That's exactly what's going to happen. And more people will die of substance abuse. Ever since the SNP have come to power, substance abuse deaths have skyrocketed. And ever since they brought in the minimum unit price of alcohol a few years ago, they've gone through the roof. It can be directly shown that minimum unit pricing has increased substance abuse deaths in Scotland exponentially. And you think it's going to get better now that they're putting the price up again? No. Deputy First Minister Shona Robison announced at Holyrood yesterday that she will be punishing and pushing ahead with this hike, claiming that they considered a consultation responses. They did not consider them. Well, if they considered them, yeah, sure, but they ignored them. In a document published at the same time as her speech, 59% of respondents wanted the entire policy to be scrapped. So where's the consultation? We considered the consultation. 2/3 of the country want it scrapped. The results skewed by the amount of public health campaigners who voted the opposite. The publication read, overall, 2/5, 39% supported continuing MUP, and 3/5, 59%, were opposed, while 1/3, 32%, agreed with the proposed minimum unit price of 65, and 2/3 disagreed. The 2/3 that disagree, they need to consider who they're about to vote for. If you're an SNP, let's put it this way, if you're an SNP supporter, even SNP supporters, and we know they're pretty thick, but even SNP supporters must see the damage this is doing for a pointless rise that, one, makes all the supermarkets richer. And 2, makes Westminster richer. And 3, will increase substance abuse deaths in Scotland because nobody can afford to buy a booze, but you can go up the corner boys and get yourself a little tab or a few grams or whatever. It's going to be cheaper than getting a bottle of whiskey. And you don't know what's in that stuff. While most respondents held firm views either for or against the proposals, there were significant differences between individuals and organisations. 88% favoured continuing it. Well, of course they were, because the organisations are growing fat, sleek and rich. Because that's pure damn profit for them, isn't it? They can put their prices up. Hey, everybody, let's put the prices up. Ding, 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 ding. We're all making money because that's money coming in. It's not taxation. It's just pure profit. So, of course, the organisations are going, yay, great idea. Yeah, good job. But the people, especially the people who are now taxed even more than ever in history, are thinking, Christ, my world is falling apart. My children can't be educated. I can't get into a hospital. I can't see a GP. I can't get a dentist. I'm lucky that I've got a job, but my God, they're taxing most of my money away from me. The thing I want to do on a Friday night is have a wee drink. Oh, shit. What do they think is going to happen? There's got to be a revolution. It's just absolutely crazy. Anyway, it was claimed that the policy has not even been successful in stopping those on limited income spending all their cash on alcohol. Bada bing. What do you think? They're problem drinkers. Problem drinkers are going to find the money. But it's their families that pay. The number of deaths linked to booze has skyrocketed in the 4 years since it was introduced, with alcohol-related deaths rising year on year to reach 1,276 in 2022, the highest number since 2008. So they bring this policy in, and it's made the problem worse. And what do you think is going to happen now? It's going to make the problem even worse. Constant poverty kills. And when you're spending even more money on booze, it means you've got less money. You're poorer and poorer and poorer. Poverty kills. These people are so stupid. And in particular, Shona Robison, so stupid. That woman needs to be removed from office because she is literally so stupid that she is killing people with her low IQ. Her IQ is responsible for people dying. That's how bad Shona Robison is. She is literally killing people with her stupidity. Scottish Tory health spokesman Dr Sandish Gillane pointed out that there was a lack of evidence to back up claims that it helped reduce fatalities. He said alcohol-related deaths are at a 14-year high in Scotland. There are 40 studies in the evaluation of minimum unit pricing, and only one claimed a reduction in the deaths. And in fact, it didn't even claim that it was down to the MUP causing that. When you look at that one, it was saying that the MUP may have had a contributing factor. And that's only 1 out of 40. The other 39 said MUP had actually made things worse. And knowing that, the SNP government decides, let's put the prices up. This woman is a direct threat to the health and well-being of people in Scotland, and certainly is responsible now for child poverty and possibly even the death of children with her policies, and she's too damn stupid to realise it. I'm coming up. How many more people have to die? How many more families have to be destroyed through poverty? How much damage must the SNP do with failed policies that they themselves admit have failed until they stop pushing them? Because if you think this is the end of it, it won't be. It'll go up again and again and again as they strive to make Scotland a dry state. A welcoming state, I think, for all the new Scots. Because that can be the only reason. It's certainly not to help problem drinkers. It's certainly not to help and aid the people of Scotland. It's making them poorer. It's punishing them for daring to enjoy themselves. Daring to have a good time. That's the last thing people like the SNP want. Happy people don't vote for extreme, far left, hate-filled, monolithic, fascistic, for the want of a better word, parties like the SNP. Who are they benefiting? No one. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. Until next time, stay safe, stay well. And if you can afford to have one, it's a Friday night, so have one. But enjoy it, because you soon won't be able to afford them. Bye.